All right. Hey, good evening, YouTube. What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Thursday Throwdown. It was going to be a lot more Throwdown until I changed topics. Oh, yes, I got sidetracked in my mentality tonight, but it's all good. I still came up with a headliner, at least, to start off with. You know how it goes. We'll get off the rails here before too long. But first things, checking out the Hawaii situation, the hurricane bearing down. As we've seen here, with the map, it looks like it's going to aim right towards Maui. Hit Oahu pretty hard. Looks like it set for rain and surf. It's missing the Big Island. But, yeah, definitely a rough time to be in Hawaii. A buddy of mine's friend is on his honeymoon in Hawaii for 2 weeks. Well, I guess the first 5 days they'll spend bunkered down waiting for the hurricane to go by, but I guess that's what honeymoons are for anyway, right? Should work out in the long run. But hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We got Boneyard Militia checking in. What's up? Surf's up in Hawaii, at least. No doubt. They're talking about 30-footers. On some of the places where they don't usually get 30-footers, not like the Pipeline or nothing, or the Waimea, but on normal places where they shouldn't be getting 30-footers. It's pretty rough. Hey, M. Long's with us. Good afternoon. Good evening. It's hard on you east of the Mississippi. Hey, man, you don't have to stay up. You can get up in the morning and watch it. You know, watch the replay, man. Get some rest. Don't let me drag you down. Do what you think you need to do. But if it's like crack, hey, what can I do? I don't know if it's that good. Awesome time to be alive, says Boneyard. We get to watch the world go down. The shitter. Front row. Well, I don't know if it's a front row. It seems like it's kind of like from the balcony seat more so, you know, like viewing it from afar, kind of. Not really front row. At least for me. Maybe you feel like you have a front row seat. I feel like I'm working at a balcony watching things go on. They're kind of unaffected to a certain degree, but when the whole building burns down, I collapse anyway. And M. Long's bringing the popcorn and beer, he says, so help yourself. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, here's that Hawaii hurricane situation. Looks like this is looking forward till Sunday. At least their predictions right now. Everybody's under a hurricane warning except for Oahu's under a watch, but that would probably change by Saturday, I would think. I guess the outline of the light outlined area is the possible track of the eye or the hurricane itself. But that is looking like it's no joke, nothing to be messed with. Like it says here, up to 30 inches of rain. Some pretty interesting pictures coming out of there already on the Big Island. There's tons of rain, up to 30 inches. And people are out messing around.
Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Rihara. This is a Hurricane Lane special.
And this guy's on top. He'll tell us about it.
Slamming the Big Island and Maui as Lane continues its slow march toward the state as a massive Category 4 storm. Now, we want to begin with this new video just into our newsroom from the Big Island. Check out what it looks like at the Honua Bridge in Kaumana. The river is raging. Heavy rain that started yesterday and continued through this morning, triggering flooding and landslides in some spots, forcing several road closures. Hawaii and Maui counties are both currently under a flash flood warning, and that's easy to see why it's by looking at this video from Hawaiian Paradise Park. This video was taken just a few hours ago on Kaloli Drive. The National Weather Service said several rain gauges showed over a foot of rain on Hawaii Island in the last 24 hours. Guy got a new update that was just released. Guy, what's the latest?
Well, the bad news is, in the latest update, it has maintained strength. Even though it weakened overnight, it's still a borderline Category 3, Category 4 hurricane. It's right on the cusp with winds at 130 miles an hour, gusts to 160. Now, you can see we've kind of lost that distinct eye that was there earlier last night, but still, it remains massive, it remains powerful, and it's dragging a lot of moisture. In fact, over the last several hours, notice behind a big thunderstorm is blooming almost as big as Lane itself. So even though the Big Island and Maui County got a lot of rain, in fact, the Big Island more than 17 inches so far, another round of rain and severe weather looks like is on the way as Lane moves up towards the rest of the islands. Now, the rain is already stretching out towards Maui County and Oahu, and that's expected to continue. This is the projected track, expected to remain at Category 3 strength through tomorrow, and that's going to be at 120 miles an hour. And then as it approaches and turns to the west, which we hope turns to the west sometime on Saturday, winds will be down to 85 miles an hour. But still, as it closes in on Oahu, it will be a Category 1 hurricane. And remember, the storm is so big that even though this is where the center of the storm will be, tropical storm force winds extend out some 140 miles from the center. And that means as it goes along the track, there's a very, very high chance and probability that we'll all be affected by tropical storm force winds. So here's the timeline. Through tonight, Maui County and the Big Island will get those tropical storm force winds, rain 6 to 12 inches. That's in addition to the rain that's already come down. And then Thursday and Friday, today and Friday, those surf's going to be picking up already. The Kona side seeing lane swell, and the surge might even be 2 to 4 feet for some areas. Now, tonight through Saturday, that's when the effects will start to spread over to us here on Oahu. The winds are going to be upwards of 45 miles an hour with some stronger gusts, and there's a possibility for even stronger winds if it comes closer than what the forecast model says. And there is a possibility that that happens. Rain running 10 to 15 inches, and that will lead to flooding for some areas. Now, again, the surf's going to be building tomorrow 10 to 20 feet. Surge is going to be 2 to 4 feet, 2 to 5 feet. Now, on Kauai, the late timeline says late Friday into Saturday. That's when they could be feeling some of the effects from the storm. Of course, things will be changing. We'll have more updates as we move along in the timeline. Steve, back to you.
All right, thanks, Scott. Hey, just a short time.
All right, we'll
FEMA held a news conference.
pipe it down here a little bit.
Impact on us here.
Move forward, but they're gonna let the video play here. Well, I guess FEMA's running their mouth now, but that's definitely getting weaker than I expected. I thought it might hold a little more strength than that, moving through there this time of year and whatnot, keeping warm water. But hey, That's good for everybody if it weakens through the weekend. Hopefully allows everybody to recover efficiently and it doesn't cause too much damage the more it weakens. But lots of rain. Sure, there'll be plenty of pictures coming up during the week or weekend as this thing moves forward. And like he says, they hope it turns west. Hope. He said hope a couple times on that part. Looks like they're setting up their shelters here to get everything ready for any potential evacuations and whatnot. Hopefully it's all precautionary. But there's a YouTube channel that's out of Hawaii Volcano Squad. He's been around since the days of the Dragon. I was checking in on him. He's doing some preparedness videos, hopefully getting the word out. Hopefully he's doing good. We'll see if he puts any more videos out the closer the hurricane gets tomorrow and the next day, definitely. Looks like at Pearl Harbor, Waikiki. Looking kind of calm, right? Nothing too crazy yet. This is updated about 30 minutes ago, so should be relatively current from their evening news, probably their 6 o'clock news or their 5 o'clock. M. Long, you're retiring on Thursday, next Thursday? Well, that's pretty awesome. Retiring that's pretty sweet. Get your retirement in while you can. Have some fun before SHTF. No doubt. Right? So we got links out. If anybody wants to jump in, links are out on the G+. But to start this story off, I forget what I was going to talk about to begin with, and then Midwest Prepper did his video, and it like epiphanied for me, I guess you would say. I found my calling, I guess, for the night. But what if you don't pick a side? Midwest Prepper did his video talking about dealing with the sheeple, and they come into work, and he has to deal with them daily about the Manafort, Cohen, Trump impeachment. Oh my! And half of them wishing for impeachment, half of them saying it's impossible, and et cetera, and going at each other, and both of them are being played off of each other, and the people that are in control are staying in control. It's not accomplishing anything. What good does it do to be a sheeple? And really, that's what I'm talking about. Choosing a side. If you're choosing one of these sides, you're ending up with just being with the sheeple. You're not leading you might be leading the sheep. You might be the lead sheep, but you're still joining them. Aren't you? I mean, that's kind of a question statement. But whether you want to choose to be a snowflake or a deplorable as a proud title, you're only doing a picking a side to, why would you choose a side? For self-preservation potentially? To defeat the other side, because the other side's so bad you just want to ally with whoever you can, kind of like we allied with the Russians. I guess you could look at it that way. When you pick those sides, you're picking sides with some of the worst that are no better than the enemy necessarily. Just you really have to go after the other enemy. Isn't that what we're doing when we choose these sides? And we talk about waking people up. We're asking them to come out of that state. We're not asking them to stay over on a side, just be awake. We're asking them to get out of that state and move on to a better state of being and a better state of thought, a mental position, a place of being aware and not getting tied up in all this rigmarole, political wrangling that we've all found our selves out of. Most of us, I'm pretty sure most people in the chat have found their way out of the political quagmire, if you will. especially this last time around where there was no good choice, and where you had basically two people from the same team running against each other. So something that he made me think about watching that video, and just it seems like we lose people that every day that choose a side. They end up choosing, or we bring people out of the sheeple every day who know they don't have to choose one of those two sides. Seems like it's a ongoing basis thing. What I see in my daily, what Midwest Prepper was talking about, just seeing the sheeple daily argue about this stuff. I'm kind of in a position where the people don't really talk about those type of things. It's not professional, I guess you'd say, at work. But you get everybody's leanings, and a good 75% of people are libertarian minded, for lack of constitutional minded, individualist mindset. Their mindset is that, but they feel like they have to choose a side to be a part of a side to, again, why they feel, does it make them so safe? They feel more secure, like a sheep being part of the herd, so they don't get singled out, so they can oppose the other side. It's easier to oppose the other side that you're against if you're with another group. That's and hopefully that's why a lot of people, the libertarians have been, for their credit, the Libertarian Party has been gaining a lot of more followers, I guess you would say, the last couple of years, because they're finally getting people to realize you don't want to be a part of either of those two sides, especially politically. A little less in principles and thought, because the Republican Party has turned its back on its principles numerous times in the last 30 years. They don't back up their own platform. And when they threw Ron Paul under the bus, you see what they did to him in 2012. That was my last straw. It was like you're already living away from the masses enough just to try to influence enough to see if you could make this happen with Ron Paul and his candidacy. But when they treated him like that and basically averted their own principles of honesty and, forthrightness and trying to do the right thing, and they just throw him under the bus on everything just to get their guy because he's catching maybe some tailwind and actually doing good. It was pretty bad. So I guess everybody has their time when they have that enlightenment and they have that epiphany of, I'm done choosing sides. I'm going to go with like-minded people who may not be influential in this fight, but at least will stand on principle and try to influence from there, because trying to influence from the inside isn't working. It's not happening. If that all makes sense. But go check out Midwest Prepper's video. I posted it on the G+. Let me get a link and I'll put it in the description box. If you guys haven't seen, if you don't follow Midwest Prepper, go checking him out. He used to be called Clendenning. That's his web address. Still shows up, I guess, when you go to his page or whatever. But it was good. Got me out of the mindset. I can't remember what I was thinking about doing a chat on tonight, and his video popped up and I was like, completely changed my train of thought. So it was all good in the long run. So let's check a side chat again here, see what we got going on.
I want to commend you on that.
RG's Homestead's with us. Good evening. Your oldest lives on the main island. Hope all goes well, right? It looks like it's almost by the main island too. From the map they showed earlier, it's going to be by the main island. At least the eye of it. Obviously, they'll still have rain and stuff by tomorrow. 8 a.m. Friday it hits. It's going to be parallel to the main island, kind of. Then it's going to track north through the evening, so it should be by them by tomorrow evening. So hopefully, as long as the house holds out the water, they might be doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be all good, Georgie. Hopefully they do well. Thumbs up on the chat. Yeah, thanks. If you want to throw a thumbs up in there, that always helps. Hey, or thumbs down. The noon chat today at lunch got like 5 thumbs down in the first hour. I don't think that's ever happened. I think it's just the South Africa topic. There's trolls out there, I think, that's throwing down on anything to do with South Africa, because I don't think they actually stood by and watched. Let me grab this link.
5 thumbs down.
Get it over here. There's a link to Midwest Prepper's video. Just go check him out. He went for a streak there where he was doing quite a bit of videos there for a couple months, and he kind of slowed down. I guess he was doing some business travel and whatnot, but it's all good. Worth taking a listen to. Somebody join me in the chat. Who we got in here?
Oh, it's me. Can you hear me?
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't have your volume up.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that was my fault. I was like,
well, I jumped in a while ago and said something, and there was no feedback on it. And I thought, okay, I have no audio.
Right. So how's it going today, Saints?
Pretty good. Boy, that's a good intro you did there. Amen. There's a lot of them sides. I'm not going to pick sides with them either, because I don't want to hang out with them people, and I don't want to hang out with them people either.
Right. That's the old saying, you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. Well, if you got, whether they're Great Danes or German Shepherds, they're both dogs, right?
Yeah, and they push this thing where you're either with us or jumping back a decade, you're either with us or you're with them, or whatever the rhetoric was, and they keep no, I'm not with them, and I'm not with them.
Right, but most people feel like that, and I think that's the biggest thing, is people feel like they have to for self-preservation. I think is the people get stuck in is that they feel pressure, not only just pressure, but a sense of security that if they don't, then they're going to be vulnerable or a victim or something.
Very good.
That seems it seems to be. I just had that epiphany kind of thought process when he did his video. Like, why is it like that when you have, other than what are intelligent people, and not only that, they don't really go along with the parties. They just oppose the other party.
Well, everybody's saying, follow me, follow me. My thing says, don't follow me. I'm lost too.
I'm lost too. We're just going to hunker down here and watch. How about that? It's one of those things, when you get lost, what do? You sit still and get orientated, right? Until you get orientated, you don't move.
I always say, I'm going to let the first wave go through. I'll be at the back of the second wave.
Like that, in the movie about Stalingrad, what was the name of it? Dadgum. I can see the video and everything. I can see the, it was about Vasily Zaitsev. Remember what I'm talking about? What was the name of that movie?
The ones where the snipers were snaking around, shooting all the German officers and all.
But before he joined the snipers, he was in the regular army. He was having to do the bum rush, He joined the second wave. Dang on. Enemy at the gates.
Yeah, enemy at the gates. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of those, man, I'm having brain freeze all week this week. It's like, can't remember anything. But yeah, getting that second wave, so self-survival.
Yeah, I agree with your. I can't believe you got 5 thumbs down on your video today.
Oh, about South Africa?
Right.
And I think that's one of those cases where you can see there's bots just trolling the internet looking for stuff. I don't think there's any other way that happens.
Well, I believe on something like that, if it's going to be taken from you by force, you might as well go ahead and torch it.
Yeah, the South African situation, the South African farmers. I mean, and Pastor Joe Fox did that was a really good video. Like I said, it's just, that makes you think like, well, he's probably right. And most of us have been in the mindset that fighting is the way to go out, the blaze of glory. But, there's things you can do and benefit, and just might as well go live prosperously somewhere else,
Right.
Because there's that capability, but it just seems kind of like I was saying. I guess it's when you push the message, if you want refugees here from South Africa, even though not many have asked. I mean, M. Long talked about he's had some people from South Africa in his area, but they're not like knocking down the embassy door to get asylum or whatever at this point.
Right.
But I think we would rather have people like that ask asylum that are prosperous, have capabilities and to get work and be productive and own businesses and stuff, and they're good farmers and they have all these skill sets. Is a lot better person to have than the Syrian refugee who's basically never worked a hard day in his life uh, in a city in Syria and is basically odd job types and stuff, and just a completely different culture, completely different train of thought, and everything. Like should be the last priority, even if they are a political refugee or whatever, asylum. The South African has a lot more in common and can be immediately productive and benefit our country, which is the whole purpose of immigration in the long run.
Right. Well, a lot of those guys, I mean, I know some people that came from South Africa, probably they came through Canada. They went to Canada and then came into the U.S. through Canada, but they were all like the dad was an engineer and with 3 kids, and the youngest was daughter was a pilot, and one of the sons was some kind of an engineer, and the middle son was played that Canadian Football League, and then got into some kind of engineering. Or, I mean, the whole family was, top notch. Christian people, no, you won't hear them get on an F-bomb run, ever. But yeah, they talked about how bad it was over there when they left.
Right.
And that was, 15 years ago. So I can imagine now it's really. And what was told to me was after they had apartheid that they squandered away all the money because the heads of government changed and wasted money on this and that, and now they're on their way to collapse.
Yeah. It's like the time to fight to stand up and fight physically was 15 years ago. Like you're saying, like if you're going to do the insurgency and fight your overbearing government, it was the time to do that. It was a long time ago when you had the capability, the numbers, more on your side.
They were talking about the rhetoric today about the what was it, the Mossad training snipers to go over to take out key officials, and the normal beating the war drums,
Yeah, the economic freedom fighters guy, the lead communist down in South Africa, was talking about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to pick a side down there, but it's not too easy to pick a side when somebody's trying to kill you. That's not your side.
That's a whole different ballgame right there, right?
You know what I'm saying? When they're trying to do you in, that's not your side, brother. So
it goes beyond labels at that point. Hey, we got some good people joining the side chat here. We got Guns and Glory with us. HRM Weapons Machinist. Good evening. Catching up here. Guns and Glory. Weapons Machinist says they can't farm 250,000 acres, the government said. I bet one corporation will farm it and have plentiful slave labor. Oh, when the government takes it over? You think so, Weapons Machinist? I think when the government takes it over, it'll pretty much collapse. But hey, V-Borg's with us. Good evening. Good evening. Nice. Thanks for checking in. And we got everybody there. Everybody saying hello to each other. So anything else going on in the radar that you've seen today, Saints?
they're still jumping up and down about the DOJ, and yeah, I wouldn't even touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the hurricane, I think that's what would be at the top of Drudge right now. I'm pretty sure that would be the.
I know they said today on news that impeach Trump was said on the news channels. It was said 227 times.
Oh, that the impeachment was said that many times?
Yeah, impeach Trump was said 227 times today.
Yeah, and yeah, people get all invested in that stuff, and it's like, what are the odds? And why it just doesn't make sense.
They're eating up the minutes of their life is what they're doing.
Yeah, right. Maybe let's put them all in jail. I'd be happy with that. Can we get that motion going?
That's a big old jail. But we just did spend some money on Guantanamo, so I mean, might as well done pay for it, might as well use it.
We could fit all DC in Guantanamo. That would work.
Tropical vacation.
Taxpayer paid. They like taxpayer paid vacations, right?
Just like Epstein's Islands without the kids.
Oh man.
I mean, you got cameras and everything else. Yeah, it's pretty bad about the Hawaii deal there. They said their emergency management was already pushed to the hilt dealing with the volcano. Now they're going to pour this on top of them. Oh, looks like HD got kicked. Well, I guess we'll see if he jumps back in. Thanks everybody. If he doesn't come back in, thanks everybody for coming out. Got 12 people watching. We'll see what happens. If he doesn't come back in a minute, it'll go off air. Like I said, thanks everybody for coming out. Yeah, I think if yeah, they may have hacked his channel. They may have kicked his channel off talking about South Africa. Ain't no telling. Yeah, I think if they impeach Trump, there's going to be a bunch of working people that keep the wheels rolling in the U.S. Probably not going to be real happy employees. May not be real productive employees. Well, maybe they didn't zap his internet. We're still live. He may not have. Might want to send up a flare and make sure HD's all right. He got a range for me. Wow. Boy, he'll really get a thumbs down on this one. Yeah, Tommy boy, HD got kicked out and trying to see if he's gonna come back in before it goes off air. It says he left the chat, so I guess he got. There he is.
Oh, dang.
Man, I know what he said. Well, if it goes off air, appreciate everybody for coming out.
Is we still live? All right.
Yeah, M. Long wondered, did they get you or not? And I said, I'd send up a flare, but he's out of range.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
a little glitched out there. I think I was talking. I was just rambling, not even paying attention. And I look it up and everything's all gobbledygook offline. I'm like, what?
Ooh. I blamed it on them South African comments we was making.
You think that's, yeah, right. You never know, right?
No, you don't nowadays.
Right. Okay, I think we're still live and everything. Okay, cool. You're holding down the fort, or did you just panic?
No, I tried to keep. I grabbed the wheel before it went off in the ditch and tried to keep it in the road, but it was losing power quick.
Might have to get here and change a tire or two.
Yeah, batteries are starting to go dead. We needed the rezap there, but we're good. You caught the time before the timer ran out on it.
Right, I think they give you like 5 minutes or something. I was just gonna say, I don't know where I was at, but I was just gonna say, Land joined us. Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking in. What's going on? How's it holding down up in Idaho? M. Long saying no chance he gets impeached, right? Bonds would go no bid. And that was Trump's big threat today. Did you see that when he was basically saying the market would collapse if he got impeached? Which is probably not half wrong.
I mean, he's still batting pretty good average there, so I don't know.
Well, and a lot of it's tied to his, he's the one, he's fighting the Fed right now. So him and the Fed are having this back and forth. The Fed's trying to fight inflation. He's trying to have a good market to make himself look good. That everything's, happy days are here again. And it's going to work out bad for both of them in the end, It's one of those things. Don't choose a side. It's going to be bad either way.
I know it. Well, I made a comment a while ago while you were in blackout mode there. The people in America that voted Trump in, that make the wheels move and hammer out the tires and the railroad spikes and all that stuff, they're not going to be happy either. They may not be so productive employees if they impeach him. I mean, they got a divided nation right now, but buddy, when you got an unhappy nation, unproductive, that feels like they got robbed, they might not,
So I think the dissent would become that level at the worker level.
Well, I think
like worker strikes.
Well, it might be on a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of sheep out there that would just, zombie up in the morning and pour coffee down them and go right back to the same grind mill because that's all they know how to do, But I think there's some of them out there that's some of the leadership in the manufacturing, I don't think would be happy about it. Manufacturing, production, whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, they for sure wouldn't be happy about the impeachment. You're saying,
Right.
well, yeah, that's what's keeping their bonds afloat, because all the businesses that go out to get money, if the bond rates go up, it costs more for them to lend money to make more business. If their prices go up to borrow, it hurts their business. They can't expand as quickly or as much, or to try to make more money. So yeah, anybody that's trying to expand, a Tesla or somebody would definitely be concerned. And same goes with Trump. He wants to borrow all this money to do all these grandiose government things. If prices go up, he can't. You might want to slow down on borrowing all that money, because it's going to cost a lot more than it did 10 years ago.
Right. Well, I know middle America, the people that voted for him, the people that wear work uniforms to work, everything from mechanics to bricklayers, they're pretty much the middle class of the country, and from what the general consensus is they're the ones that put him in, with the vote, and I can see them not being compliant with Trump getting impeached, and then the regulations getting put back in on the coal and energy, and after these people's made these investments and all. Yeah, I can see some shaping.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, how emotionally invested do you really need to get in this? Because who's going to be president if Trump gets impeached? It's going to be
Boy,
Mike Pence.
They don't want Mike Pence.
But that's who it's going to be.
I know
the Democrats really don't. They haven't thought that through at all. They're all like pushing it, but like Pence is like Billy Graham as a politician. I don't know.
Boy, you took the words right out of my mouth, dude. I was going to say he's a Donald Trump with a healthy dose of Billy Graham, right
there. You go,
man.
Right. Like they think that they would flip if he was president, but they seem to not think past an impeachment. They're like, they'll cross that bridge when they get there, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, man. I don't know. They just changed the rules around to where they could have an election, and then whoever won, they just put whoever they wanted in. And, if you don't like it, we'll cut you off the internet where you can't say anything about it.
Yeah, so it's like if you're a Democrat, there's no really reason to get invested in an impeachment strategy. You're going to be unhappy either way. You're not going to be happy with either situation. If you're a supposed Republican or somebody that voted for Trump, yeah, you might not want him to be impeached, but or is everybody concerned? Are people actually concerned about Pence not following the same path? That might be a concern. He's too much of a old school establishment guy who will really screw up a lot of things, even worse than the path we're going down. Can he really spend more money than is already being spent? That's a question. That I would have. Like, you can't really destroy the country any faster than the economy's doing. So, what would he do you think? Outlaw abortion? The president can't do that. That still has to go through Congress. What's he going to do?
He could defund it. He could totally defund any government support or anything of it.
Well, that would be, shoot, who wouldn't support that? But yeah, right. Yeah, there's other negative, Trump has stayed hands off on a lot of those things, social issues, if you will. It looks like we got half crazy old Christian redneck veteran. That's a long title. Has joined us. Good evening. The Saint has joined us, not to be confused with Saints and Sappers, who's in the chat.
All
right. So we got two different people, both called Saint. There's Saints and the Saint. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for joining us. Fuzz Forks out there. What's going on, sir? He says, stock up. People make hay when the sun shines. No doubt. That's why we're chatting while the sun shines. Well, chatting while it's, still peaceable enough to do so.
Chatting before they strike everybody out with strikes.
Right. Yeah, Tony's never going to recover, probably.
Man.
Fuzz says, we still need justice concerning Obama, Hillary, and all the rest before things move any further, or hell will break loose.
I agree with that.
I would say hell's going to break loose because I just don't see that happening, especially Obama. What are they going to get Obama for? Anything they get Obama for is going to be totally. I mean, the Antifa types would freak out if Obama was convicted of anything. It would be bad. I mean, Chicago would probably burn down, which that might be a good thing. I don't know. What do you think about?
It's going to burn itself down. It's already on fire.
Right. Well, Hillary, I don't think the left doesn't care. So many of the left don't care about Hillary after what she did to Bernie Sanders that she wouldn't have anybody defending her. I mean,
yeah, she pretty much lost her fan base. Her $2,500 a plate speaker luncheons are a thing of the past.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the people who paid her paycheck pay Trump's as well. They grease both sides of the palms. Those high level people that mix in those circles.
You know it. They're like Richard Pryor. Whichever side's winning, that's their side.
There you go. HRM says the mainstream technocratic corporate future is being unfolded one term at a time. That's pretty dire right there, HRM. Technocratic corporate future. Be interesting to see how that works out.
I'll tell you something else. I mean, I'm not derailing or nothing, but there's a word popping up that they ain't used, that they didn't talk about a whole lot through the years, and that's the C word, China.
Who doesn't use it?
They didn't. Nobody bashed on China for a long time now. They're starting to finally look at China. Everybody's scared of you talking about getting their pockets padded both sides. China's padding both sides.
Oh, right.
They're paying everybody.
With what? We don't know, but yeah. Yeah, looking for any advantage they can.
They're probably not paying them with food.
Not with soybeans anymore, right?
Yeah, right. They may be paying them with rebar or some kind of, cast iron pipe, but they're not paying them with food.
Cast iron pipe. Yeah, the whole food situation in China. We'll see how that plays out. We covered that last week about their soybean imports. I mean, they import 800 million tons of soybeans. I just can't even fathom. That's just one food product. Like, they had a lot of people to feed. And they all like soy. I wonder if Land of Land checked out when I lagged out. He hasn't commented since he checked in. Probably thought I ignored him. No, I wouldn't say that's not sidetracking it, Saints. I think that's straight on point. Of the Chinese know better than to pick a side. They know that they have to manipulate both sides to get what they want.
Yeah, buddy.
So they don't need to pick a side, but they're in a position of power where they can do that. What does the average Joe do when he knows that both sides aren't working in their interest? but doesn't have the power to control or manipulate either side to do anything beneficial for them. What happens then?
Yeah, I've got a problem with it. That's something else. As you look at these, one from column A and one from column B, and you're talking about choices between column A and column B, and you're looking at the leadership in there, and you go, man, there ain't no way I'd follow that guy, or there's no way I'd follow that guy. And boy, that's just not a whole lot of choices out there. If there were those leaders out there that spoke up, and that's a dangerous person. Somebody that people will follow. That's a threat to the status quo.
Oh yeah. Anytime you get a William Wallace character mixed in the mix, right?
Yeah, buddy. There you go. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
And that's kind of like Ron Paul, if he would have been able to get the masses when he was younger. Can you imagine the effect? But he didn't really catch on until he was up and a little older. They were able to mitigate that. Yeah. Okay. Tommy Boy says 9 thumbs down. Is this a shit show? What's going on, Tommy Boy? I don't know what happened. I think I've got some trolls picked up on me after this South African video.
Down.
Yeah, I just checked it. We got 9 thumbs down in here. We're setting a record.
I got to get out of here. It may be my country. It may be my country's language.
I mean, nobody in the side chats complained. If you guys want to say something, you can say it. You don't have to just give me a thumbs down. You can do both. Both would be preferred. I think there's something going on with the bot algorithm today. I don't think that's ever happened on one of my chats. I don't think I've ever had that many thumbs up or down. Oh, man. Yeah, if anybody out there in the side chat wants to counteract this negative vibe we got going, go give it a thumbs up. See if we can recover. Google might shut us down if we get too many out of balance, right?
Wow, that's terrible. That's worse than Chad Lilly when he came into the Dragon.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy Boy, thanks for the warning. I didn't. Yeah, you came in right as I lagged out. It looks like you were back there at the. Yeah. Tommy Boy said I should have thought 3 arrows in the air. Yeah, as a sign of distress, right? Any group of threes.
Maybe they didn't like you talking about the hurricane.
I don't know. Maybe they just don't like my perspective on choosing a side. They think you have to choose one of the two sides, I guess. A bunch of Democrats and Republicans getting in here, getting all butt hurt.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm funny who I follow. They used to me people. They used to me Pied Pipers out there walk you off a cliff.
Right. Yeah, don't. What's that old saying go? I can't remember how it goes. I got something stuck in my head, but I can't think of putting all the parts together. But like, basically, don't observe and learn, but don't follow, type thing. Boneyard says trolls work for Tide Pods, I think. Do they still make Tide Pods? I thought they had to ban them because it was killing too many people.
That's like okay. That jump out of the car and dance and move in traffic's going to thin a bunch of them
out. Oh, man. Some of those videos, you're just like, seriously?
When they run over them, that's nice. One down, put another freaking notch in the broom handle.
All right. Yeah, one less problem, hopefully. hopefully, but they probably survive and they suck money off us through socialized health care and drag us down further. Probably doesn't do us any good.
Oh boy, still doing YouTube videos from the freaking assisted living. Whoa, I'm not even going there.
Assisted living. Yeah. Saint says mom does their laundry.
Uh-huh.
Tommy Boy's you're praying for the end here. Tommy Boy says we need something to happen so we have something new to talk about. uh, yeah, yes, it was Saint. Midwest Prepper did that good video. That's that's kind of what gave me the idea for this chat is avoiding the masses, staying away from the sheeple and not picking a side. I was thinking totally about something else to do the chat on. I had totally something else in my mind, which I can't remember now. And I watched his video and I was like, huh, yeah, exactly. That totally took off a different direction than where I was intending to go. Hey, JJ McKay's with us. How you doing, sir? Good evening. Afternoon. I'm stuck in afternoon mode. I can't say good evening to get. Got a good crew checking in here. I sent links to a bunch of folks and nobody's checking in with us. Tony said he's working. He's off the radar. So now I have to hold it down by myself, maybe.
he did a fired up little video after he got his strike.
Yeah, that was yesterday, right?
Man, my days just run together. Time's like in hyperspace right now, hyperdrive going by.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday or this morning, but yeah, he was going off and I was like listening to it. I was shaking my head like, oh yeah. Tony's back in fine form now.
Yeah, he delivered it very well. It was a good delivery on what he had to say.
Yeah, if nothing else, Tony has improved his delivery over the years. 5 years ago, that would have been a lot rougher around the edges. And not get his point across.
And I got counted 220 something F bombs in one he did. I don't know. That was just something I did. I sat down and I thought there's a bunch of them, and it was 225, 224 F bombs he dropped in like a 4 minute video. Wow, it was intense.
You're like, that sounds like my old sergeant major.
Man, I'm telling you.
Sounds like what it used to sound like when you come after a weekend of 72 or something, and everybody ended up in the brig and limo risk, and somebody bought a new car, and somebody else married a stripper out in town, and first sergeant comes out and lets everybody have it.
It all started when he went into barracks and they were trashed.
Yeah.
And went downhill for the next 4 to 5 hours.
Right.
And I'm glad they quit. I'm glad they stopped running this one they did, because I didn't think I was going to be able to make it too much further.
Yeah, well, let me check in on when that video was. That was a good one. I'm gonna have to revisit that and enjoy the rant that it was. But I get so sidetracked nowadays. I can't remember which video is talking about what half the time. I watch so many different people putting out. Seems like everybody's picked up the pace lately. Really putting out a lot more content across the board. Like even not political channels. They're just like everybody's putting out more videos, and that's good stuff too. It's not just like junk. They're actually discussing stuff. A lot of the survival channels are really getting more active with talking about different things. Except for Saints and Sappers. He hasn't done a video in a minute.
Yeah, everybody's kind of got everything covered. I mean, my farming's not really farming. It's more just like digging.
What do you mean? You're farming or?
Yeah, I didn't do no farming. All I've been doing is digging everything up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to put in a winter crop here of something. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if we're a winter barley or wheat or something, and then some roots or something.
I'll tell you something I did pick up. It's really interesting. It's called, and you would probably enjoy a copy of it too. It's called Mountain Medicine by Tommy Bass and Daryl Patton.
Oh, yeah.
And all the plants that you can eat, or not all of them, but a bunch of plants that you can eat, and old time recipes and old time medicine you can make out of them. And so I was going to do a video where I take the book and walk around the homestead here and show everything in that book that's in the yard here that you can eat. And there's probably 11 to 12 things here. There's everything here from wild lettuce to I noticed the other day USMC vet did
Yeah.
A persimmon
food forest thing.
Yeah, did the persimmon.
Yeah, that too, right?
Tree, and there's persimmon trees all over this place. Wild cherry, sassafras, poke salad. And a lot of people say, "Oh, that's poison." No, it's and I can't remember all the different names of the stuff. I have to go back through my passion fruit, passion flower. What we grew up, they called them maypops.
Oh, yeah.
You can eat those, and bunch of different stuff like that's in that book. I thought about this walking around the yard and pointing it out. I may do it.
Yeah.
While it's all still here. Pretty interesting. If you're educated like that and you know that kind of stuff, you can, and you've got a wooded area during the summertime, you can, now winter's going to get a little lean, but during the summertime, you can, not only I think can you survive, but you might even thrive, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Wes S. Went back east from Texas for a visit. I guess there was a prepper meetup or something over in Tennessee or something, and he was out there, and there was yucca out in the woods, out in the middle of Tennessee. I was like, really? I don't remember seeing any yucca plants growing up, but maybe they're just spread out. But like that's kind of like people consider that a desert plant, But
dude, believe it or not, I've got yucca growing. That's what I was saying. I planted yucca around my house. And
that's right. We were talking about that a couple chats ago, weren't we?
Yeah, I've got them. Some of them are 2 or 3 foot tall. I planted them in the corners where I've got a blind corner going around my house. I put that in the corner where you can't get up in there.
Yeah, the yucca plant, grows such that.
Man, it's like a freaking big giant sea urchin.
Razor blades standing next to you.
Yes, sir. You get in there on it, I guarantee it'll pierce denim. You know, they go through blue jeans.
Yeah, he was sitting out there in the woods and somewhere and talking about the yucca plant. That was pretty neat. I was like, yeah, we can't grow that up here though. Yeah, Tony's chat. I just checked that video again. The 3-word band video. Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
What were the 3 words again? He said. I can't remember what they were now.
They said he called Chicago a shithole city and named all them cities and something else.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they hit him on hate speech, but they won't define hate speech. They won't tell you what it is.
Right. You're supposed to just figure it out.
Yeah, they won't define it. It's their, prerogative on whether it's hate speech or not.
Anything that's critical of the agenda.
Well, that's like they were talking about on Prager got a video kicked off of YouTube on toxic masculinity, saying that masculinity it's not toxic, and it got kicked off, but they put it back on after they protested.
Oh yeah. Yeah, stupid stuff like that. People manipulating words to mean things they don't mean is just gonna be the death of us all. I think. I don't think we can. Hard to survive when you can't know what the meaning of words are. You can't agree if you can't agree on what is, then we got problems, right?
What is. I hear you, old Bill Clinton. What is.
It depends on what your definition of is.
That's pretty good, actually.
Huh?
That's pretty good there. That was about a 7 on a scale to 10. Could probably be an 8.5 or just a little bit there. Pretty good.
Yeah, right. Sad state of affairs. We got anybody else checking in with us? Looks like the side chat's tearing it up, chatting it up on various things. Looks like Tommy Boy cutting off his TV, HRM, cutting off TV. HRM says plant buckwheat and clover, looks like.
Yeah, Tommy Boy said he picked him up some silver. I picked me up another silver bar the other day.
Yeah, you see that Tommy Boy says he's picked up more silver waiting for the crash. That's probably the best idea yet.
I went and got my bar today and looked at it. I like it. It looks good. It's an A mark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any A mark. It's 999 plus.
Right.
That's for the kiddies. I'm afraid if I give them money right now, they'll just go blow it. So later on, I'll give them silver, and that way they have to work before they can spend it.
Right. They gotta at least figure out how much it's worth before they sell it.
Right. Teach them a little bit about the silver market.
Yeah, right. Tommy Boy says he's got 200-ounce bars. Like, wow. I don't know. What are you gonna do with 100 ounces though, Tommy Boy? It's like,
Dude,
I want to break down those denominations a little bit.
That's almost 20 pounds there.
Oh wow, that's pretty heavy, huh?
Well, 125 ounces is 9 1/4 pounds. 125 troy ounces weighs 9 1/4 pounds.
Yeah.
Because I know a troy ounce and a regular ounce is different,
Oh right, yeah. Troy ounces.
14.
Troy is 31.5 ounces or something like that. or wait, 31.5 grams. Is that the way they measure it?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Something like that.
I don't know. I had somebody tell me silver's going to go down to $8 or $9. I don't know if I believe that or not. They sold all the. My buddy that had a bunch of silver, he sold all of it. He had, my gosh, I don't know how much it was, 1,200 ounces, and he sold every bit of it for like $17.75 an ounce, which he got his money back. He bought it cheap, but I don't know where he's going with it. But he ain't invested in some kind of stock market or something. I don't know. I'd rather have the silver.
Yeah, it's like everybody's got a little bit of silver in their pocket. It looks like in the side chat. Can't argue with that. It's always a good option to have something set aside. And we're talking about the Venezuela exchange rate. Like it would be really handy down there right now. Basically, an ounce of silver cover them for about a month.
Did you see they had money piled up next to the items that it took to buy it? Did you see that article?
The one where they put them in front of the number of bolivars.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
a roll of toilet paper there, dude. The stack of money was
Yeah.
as big as a shoebox.
Yeah, I did that in the morning chat the other day.
It
I
was
guess it
worth
was
about.
yesterday.
They said the toilet paper was worth about 40 cents a roll down there.
Yeah.
And dude, it took more money than a woman could put in a big old baggy purse to buy a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah, what I said on the morning chat was basically it'd be more useful to use the money for toilet paper and or like somebody said in the chat, I can't remember who it was in the chat, maybe Walter Davis. He's like, how about I just use leaves for toilet paper and use the money for something else and don't have any toilet paper? It's like that's probably even better.
Right.
Yeah, that's such a mess. Like I mean, how much worse can it get, right? Like
Here's my wheelbarrow full of money. I would like a chicken. Holy cow.
yeah. And you got to figure any they've got a fair amount of, I guess you'd say, backyard farming going on. You know, they don't. It's not like they're not like Americans where they're fully invested in just in time delivery
Oh
of goods
man.
to this grocery market. You know, they got little chickens in the backyard and everything like that.
Right.
Like, but still, this is going like, man, how rough can it be?
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be downtown Julie Brown when all that went on because there ain't going to be much on the shelves. And you live in the middle of one of those bigger cities, you know, I don't know if there's going to be much commerce coming in and out. So, yeah, it'd probably be better to be in rural Venezuela than. I don't know when you got people going out to the countryside chasing down the wild donkeys and killing them and eating them. Yeah, there's something's out of.
Yeah, you just got to figure, did people just not, transition as things got worse? They didn't transition and like grow more of their own food, the backyard farming and everything. Like everybody just ate through it so fast that they couldn't keep up, or what? Were there a bunch of, I don't know if there were a bunch of government restrictions on that stuff. I don't know.
Well, I know there was a few of the, I guess, upper echelon people down there that had guns, and the government ordered all them confiscated. So I guess everybody that had a security detail or whatever that was non-governmental, I think they got all their armor seized.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did see something about the South Africans were talking about doing gun seizures, or there was rumor of it, and people were getting up in arms. People were really getting, because South Africa still has a fair amount of gun ownership, I guess you'd say.
Right.
I mean, it's not America, but but it really got everybody's hair on end. Like, well, what do you think was coming? I mean, they're going to be taking your land. You know, they're going to be coming in there to take your guns before you get a chance to shoot them.
Gotcha. Sound like something I've been trying to pull here too.
Yeah, right. Hey, we got James McIntyre with us. What's going on, J Mac? Good evening. You got a link, J Mac, if you wanted to jump in, comment, tell us how bad California is. If you've got any plans to escape anytime soon or anything. Yeah, Donald, the Donald just raised that to a whole new level with South Africa today with his tweet. And it's interesting to see people are now all of a sudden like, oh, South Africa.
None of the mainstream news is talking about it though. Fox that brought some articles up about it, but not many other places not talking about it.
About South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess and Trump was replying to a Tucker Carlson article, discussion that he had made. I guess Tucker Carlson had said something. And Trump was playing off that.
Yeah, Tucker's on the JOB. Well, I think he is.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if he'd listen to me, he'd be on it a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or listen to us. Yeah, Tommy Boy says we are due for another school shooting. The gun issue went silent. ? It is pretty silent. I'll give you that.
Well, they tried to beat him up about the terrorist training camp in freaking New Mexico and where all the anti-gun students at when these people were out there training people to do that. I mean, where's the outrage?
Well, you can't be outraged at poor, depressed, downtrodden Muslim immigrants.
People that live in tunnels in the middle of the New Mexico desert, right?
Yeah, you can imagine if those were Amish or Mormons or Mennonites or something, like you'd never hear the end of it.
No, they'd have 2,000 people out there combing the grounds with a fine tooth comb to get every piece of brass to fingerprint it to see who all been out there.
Yeah, and that, I mean, we're going to beat this story to death, but anybody believes that was the end of that story, that they were just out there in the desert and they had it. I mean, there's no end to the different strings this story takes, because you got them training kids to commit shootings in who knows what environment, school or not, going to the mall, who knows what they were training them for, big picture wise. It could have been anything. Don't limit yourselves to thinking it's just a school shooting. Like, it could have been a lot of different things, And then you got the underground tunnel. Like, what were they getting ready for there? Why would they build underground tunnels was that the way they escaped from the heat? Seriously? And then you got the whole tie to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, Blind Shake, and that whole connection. Plus, you've got the whole they bulldozed the place. They eliminated all the possible evidence without fine-tooth combing that place. Like, you have a dead kid on the premises and you just bulldoze the place. What? I mean, what planet does people just let that pass and let that be like, oh, that's what they should do? But the FBI's got their fingers in that, because just like they did with Vegas and the whole October 1, they let Metro drag their heels on it for so long until they just dropped it. and now it's just disappeared. Worst shooting in United States history is just a dead issue, gone, nothing, no motive, no outcome, no how he did it, no nothing more than he bought a bunch of guns and took them up to his room. You have got to be kidding me. That's as good as it gets. Nobody with a right mind can believe that stuff.
The Dick Tracy Detective of the Year award goes to
Joe Lombardo.
There you go, buddy.
Where's Tony at? Maybe Tony will hear that in the replay. Hey, we got Stefan Minkenberg joining us. Good evening. A good morning for you across the pond. Endless story of killing goes on, right? It does indeed. Oh, JJ just said there was a story. He can't remember the state it came out of, but a judge found the severed head of a pedophile that he had released on his porch. Well, that's kind of interesting. That's what you call vengeance is served. Hey, Angel R has joined us. Good evening, Angel. Hey, you got a link, Angel, if you want to pop in. Depending on if you're done with your evening walk or not. Your early morning walk, as the time is now. Yeah, M. Long brings up, they were released before the autopsy was done on the kid, destroying the compound, destroys the chain of custody on evidence they have. I mean, yeah, right? I mean, so they're not going to try those fools for murder? You know? They're not going to take them to task over any of that. They're just going to, what are they going to get them for now? What were they originally arrested for anyway? What were the charges, Saint?
I don't know what they arrested him on, but I think it was just a sheriff investigation led into, I don't know, sheriff and them just, I think somebody reported it or something. I'm not sure, but they held them on, one of them on kidnapping charges in Georgia and another one on the ice, some kind of an ice violation. So they grabbed them back up, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the original, I think they were acting on a tip or something.
Yeah, because the sheriff was trying to get the FBI, and the FBI ignored it, and the sheriff went and did it on his own. That's right. I remember, but isn't the kid that died the one from Georgia?
Oh, I'm not sure about that now.
I want to say the kid that died is the one from Georgia. Like, isn't that kidnapping, murder? I mean, there's how many charges do you need, to hold somebody? And they
100 foot of, over 100 foot of underground tunnel would be a little concerning to me too. I mean, I can understand digging a root cellar, but dude, 100 foot of tunnel, that's a pretty good little tunnel complex.
and it's what were you doing in there too? It's not like I don't know. I don't think they combed that thing like they should have. They didn't exploit it. They didn't, they didn't go in, and it would have taken, a month to do their due diligence on a place like that. And 3 days later it was bulldozed? Something like that.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another smells to high heaven. Trust the plan. I don't know.
Yeah, can't trust the 3-letter agencies at all. Yeah, Angel R says South Africa is a great example of what happens when you have have a country over to a certain ethnicity. Well, I don't know, Angel. Certain ethnicities run lots of countries. It's the communism is the problem. That's what's going on in South Africa. Is the communists are in charge. Hey, Glitch Mod's with us. Glitch Mod, good evening. How you doing? Stefan Molyneux. Man, we didn't even bring him up. You just want to run him through the mud? What's up with that? You just come in here to talk bad about Stefan? M Long says, bet that place was an old drug running site from the 80s. You never know, M Long, right? Like, but I don't know. Yeah, for them to just happen to be out in the desert and they happen to have this nice tunnel complex, like it could be anything. And I still, my conspiracy theory is they were known assets to the federal government and the agencies that then they could have been in witness protection for all we know, or something like that, some program of some sort, and that's why the feds were hands off. Glitch, you think there's an algorithm? I'm being monitored regardless, Glitch Mod. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it matters what I say. I don't think they're going to be monitoring regardless.
Let's ask Alexa. Alexa, is HDP being monitored? Yes, he is.
Hey, Google. I should do that. See what happens.
Yeah.
See if it just turns off, like some of those cases. Like, what was that one that's like they're like, "Hey Alexa, are you connected to the FBI?"
Yeah.
And it turns off on them.
I don't understand the question. Oh boy.
That's funny.
Hey, I
The
know.
odds are.
Are they listening to you? Yeah, Alexa is all the time.
Yeah. Your cell phone.
Yeah, well, their cell phone, people's got it on voice dial where they just take the cell phone up to their mouth and they say, call Dave, and it calls Dave. Yeah, it was listening to you. Is it waiting on trigger words? I don't know. Now you're talking conspiracy. We're not listening to you, not wittingly.
Right.
Not wittingly. Okay.
Just accidentally, right?
Liar, liar, pants on fire. What if his pants caught on fire? He got up and run around.
And that gets back to bring this back around to the topic of the chat. People think that when their side gets in charge of these agencies, that suddenly they turn back to being good, well-run agencies. Like, that's why it just goes back and forth, and these entrenched bureaucracies still do what they've always done. We talk about the FBI and ATF, BLM, and all these. It's like they're on a set course. They don't deviate just because an administration changes. Really, some of the higher ups change or whatever, but the entrenched bureaucracy is just, they're going to oppress you in every form and fashion, no matter who's in charge. That's another thing people don't get when we talk about the sheeple, picking a side. Like, the problem is that you continue to push power to the top up there, so either side can oppress you. It's like that whole infographic picture thing of the left right march of tyranny. Which foot's stepping on you, left or the right. Hey, we got Glenis Vilkas with us. Good evening. What's going on? The feds are more concerned with their overseas connections than their crimes here. Well, the feds are probably monitoring their overseas connections, but they weren't like they were controlling them at all. You talking about the guys in New Mexico? I think that's what you're talking about. J-Mac redacted his comment. I don't know. It must have been dangerous there, James, to have to redact it that quickly. Glitchmod asks, do you watch Mr. Metcore at all? Terry A. Davis? No, I don't know. Those don't sound. Mr. Metcore sounds familiar, but I don't think I watch him. I may have watched somebody that referred to him, but Terry A. Davis doesn't ring a bell at all. Not sure what channels those are. J-Mac, you got a link if you're going to jump in here and run your mouth a little bit. Sit out there in the side chat, making me and Saints suffer. It's like we're telling everybody to not pick a side, but it's either me or Saints. That makes it kind of rough on the chat.
Yeah, y'all don't have to pick on my side. We ain't taking any applications right now.
Yeah. Did they ever, how's the rain out there? Did it ever slow down yet?
It did. Man, we've had about 3 days of beautiful 80, maybe might hit 90-degree weather with cool evenings, dude. In 2 weeks, I'll be able to open my front door and back door, my screen doors, and enjoy, I hope, at least a month of fresh air evenings that's not 95 degrees.
Yeah.
But it's still green. Still, everything's still nice and green and lush. And yeah.
Yeah, we've been looking when last we checked in yesterday on the weather, like the rain out east is just brutal and it just never stops. It's been on, just keeps sweeping through every week.
Well, we skipped through tornado season this year. You know, usually during June, July, we get some bad tornadoes and bada bing, knock on freaking wood. We ain't had none this year so far, thank goodness. Not any bad ones.
Yeah, that's the thing with the hurricane season. I mean, we still got about a month and a half left or so, but the hurricanes have pretty much dodged us too. We had that one that ran up the coast and Nova Scotia or whatever, but other than that, I mean, has there been any hurricanes that really developed?
Nothing. I don't think anything bad in Florida hit this year, you know, unless, nothing like 2 years ago or whatever it was where they had those that crisscrossed in the middle of the state about the same time. That's like here a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. You know, we had freaking F5 tornadoes come through here. We had like 11 tornadoes come through here in 2 days. And you know, all over the state. And, man, it was terrible. And we've been blessed this year. We ain't had that crap happen. So, I think good Lord's giving everybody a break, letting everybody get prepped for this big boom that's going to happen, whatever it is. Boom, bust, or whatever. I still say November's going to be a turkey shoot, though, to see what happens. Because if they win, they're not going to be happy. And if they lose, they're really not going to be happy. Because they're just not going to be happy because they hate everybody that's to the right with a passion. Uh-oh, we lost HD again. Dang. All right, here we go. We start the timer. See how many people I can run off before he gets back. See how many more thumbs down I can get. See what's going on the outside. Miss Jen or somebody in a nursing home, you go to jail. I heard something about that. That's crazy. Boy, I'd be in trouble out there. Man, I can't believe how y'all still holding out there in California. Bless your heart. All I can tell you, stand strong. Yeah, Oregon's got their fair share of communists too. Boy, they's out in numbers the other day, but they knocking them out. So high desert. Yeah, I know. I seen all them gathered up in. Boy, them some violent ones too. They got a lot of women communists there in Oregon. I seen them. They little kind of masculine. Some of them did, but they blacked out from head to toe, patent leather boots and all, bike locks and baton, collapsible batons or whatever they call them.
All right, Saint, you there?
Yeah, man, I was trying to hold it down there reading them comments out here. They done start talking about communists in California and Oregon now.
Communist in California. Was that anything new?
No, I reckon they've been there a while.
Yeah, I think that might be a sign we need to shut this down. We get kicked out twice in one night.
I tell you, we can't stand no more thumbs downs either.
Where are we at?
I think we was at 9 a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still rocking 9 there, but we got 15 thumbs up, so we looking all right on that side.
All right. So we get a little balance there. That's a
Yeah,
first for the chat right there. I don't think I've ever went down that route.
I hope
Worried about thumbs down.
I hope I didn't add to the hate there. If I did, y'all quit hating.
All right. Yeah, let's wrap it up. We'll shut it down here. Unless you had something you wanted to comment on while you were still wrapping out with them.
No, I was watching the clock run down. I didn't know whether I was going to have to give a quick shout out or not and jump out or whether you was going to come back. So I was just kind of holding in a level flight pattern there.
Right, right. It's like everybody just talking to everybody, getting some orientation, meeting people. Talk about straws. Yeah, J Mac, what's your opinion on the straw ban out there in the great Communist Republic of California? That's why you get straws every time you go to a restaurant. Sticking it to the man. All right. Hey, good times, fellas. Thanks for coming out. Thanks everybody for joining. I wish we could have held it together a little better, but we might be getting a signal just to shut it down for the night, and we'll revisit some other point in the week. No morning chat in the morning. We're going to be doing got to go to the big city again tomorrow, so I might do a mobile drive time, but you won't have the morning news deal. So J Mac, don't worry about getting up early. I know you're saying you're having a hard time getting in on that. So no worries there. But also don't forget to check out the giveaway. We got the giveaway going till the 1st. If you want to get in on it, go check out the video, comment, do a VR if you want. If you want to get in on that subscriber giveaway, just saying thanks to y'all for hanging in there and coming and checking out the channel and give me some stuff to talk about. All right, Saints, anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Thanks for the invite. Thanks everybody for coming out and listening to everybody give their opinionated opinion. Don't shoot your ammo up. Don't eat up your preps.
All right. Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming in, Saints. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting me rant a little bit and just clear my mind. Definitely go check out Midwest Prepper, his video in the description box. It kind of inspired the beginning of this chat. Rewind to the beginning if you missed it and just check out kind of the main subject. Remember to pray for those in Hawaii. They're definitely going to be batting down the hatches here. And hopefully everybody gets through that unscathed with all the different flooding in it and wind and everything else that goes with that. But we had Glitch Mob, St. Stefan Minkenberg, J Mac was with us. What's this? J Mac says, got to get up early anyway. I'm going to the dentist to get 3 teeth pulled. All right. Well, you wouldn't have time to watch anyway. Cool. Hey, M Long was in here with us. Glenis Vilkas joined us. HRM Weapons Machinist was in here with us as well. Thanks for coming. We had a whole host of people. Angel R, JJ McKay. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit out there on the great northern peninsula of Michigan. The Saint, Stefan Minkenberg. And that's as far back as my scroll goes. My memory's not working so good, it doesn't seem like. So thanks everybody that did come out though and watch. West Wind Survival slide in here at the very end. All right. Hey, we're going to check out, folks. Thanks for joining us. And have a good night and live free.